The fact that we find it strange to talk about God's humility, I suspect, is because we misunderstand the word humility. We see it as a word about putting ourselves down or perhaps pretending that we have nothing to offer. But actually, if we watch Jesus, and particularly perhaps in John 13, where he's washing the disciples' feet, we see that he's not putting himself down and he's not pretending that he has nothing to offer. He's perfectly clear that he is their teacher and their Lord, and yet here he is serving them. It's actually one of the striking things about Jesus' whole ministry is that extraordinary sense of confidence that comes from watching Jesus. Jesus knows completely who he is. He knows he is the beloved Son of the Father. He works always from that deep sense of security and affirmation in that relationship with the Father. And so he doesn't need validation from others. He doesn't need to seek out the rich and the powerful. He doesn't need to earn huge quantities of money. He doesn't need people to tell him how beautiful he is. He's simply willing, from that point of deep security, to serve those he meets, particularly those most in need, those most overlooked. And what we're seeing here is not just a characteristic of the Son of God incarnate. This is an insight into the nature of God in God's self. God who creates the whole world, and not out of any need, but simply out of overflowing, outpouring love. God does not need us to validate him. God does not need us to worship him. God knows that that's what we need. We need an external source. We need somebody outside ourselves to offer us that love and affirmation that we see in Jesus. And so this is the God that we worship, the humble God who is willing for most of the time for us to forget his existence, for most of the time to carry on our lives as though we are at the centre of the universe, although we couldn't even draw a breath if God didn't hold us in being. What would it be like for us as Christians to live from that sense of deep affirmation as the beloved children of God, sisters and brothers of the Son, and therefore to be able to offer our own service, not needing external validation, but only looking to serve those whom God loves? What would that look like?